There was only one thing that made getting a toy, playset, or vehicle better. That was when you opened it up and found out there was a free action figure inside. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with a new video. Today, we're going to look at Star Wars Kenner toys, the vintage era, that came with a free toy, from ships to playsets. If you're like me, for your first thought is, none of the ships came with action figures, but that's not exactly true. Now, before we get started, if you'd like to help this channel out, become a Patreon supporter or a YouTube member, get some exclusive content, and help make this better. I know you're saying, Junkman, this can't get any better. You're right, it can get a little better with your support. Or head over to junkmanmerch.com and buy a cool t-shirt. Hurry before Disney pulls off another one from the website. Wait a minute, first, I need your help. The original idea for this video was going to be toys of the 80s or maybe 70s that we grew up on that came with a free action figure. But I just couldn't find a good list on the internet of someone that compiled this list so I could make the video quick. So in the comments below, or if you're on the Junkman Facebook group or Twitter, let me know some toys you had growing up that came with an action figure. So I can do a video about all the non-Star Wars ones. Because in this video, we're going to narrow it down to Star Wars. Again, keep it to the 70s or the 80s. Better if it's a figure that only came in that playset or vehicle. But if it had a figure inside, let me know so I can kind of make a list about it. Now with that out of the way, let's look at some playsets and vehicles from the Star Wars Kenner era that came with figures. First one we're going to look at is the Land Speeder. What? The Land Speeder didn't come with it. It even says on the box, figures not included. Sure, it shows a picture of a stormtrooper with a Chewbacca gun, but it doesn't come with figures. Well, Kenner did release some of them with a figure. They slapped a yellow sticker on it that said free offer. Now, a lot of these were only available at major retailers and usually around Christmas time and very limited supply. So let's take a look at the Land Speeder. As you can see from the box, the little yellow sticker says it comes with a C-3PO and an R2-D2 action figure inside. Now the action figures inside came in a little Kenner bag, but they were in there. Again, this was done around Christmas time, probably to encourage parents or make them feel like they're getting more for their money. They probably had a lot of the figures in the warehouse, so they threw them in this little Land Speeder to try to get people to buy them. Another one they did this with is the Luke Skywalker X-Wing. And believe it or not, it came with two figures. And none of them was a Luke X-Wing pilot. It came with a Luke Skywalker and Han Solo action figure. Again, to find these in the box with this special offer is rare. Well, if you're going to have two good guys with a good ship, you need two bad guys with a bad ship, right? Well, you do. And here's a TIE Fighter that comes with a free Darth Vader. Oh, look at him dressed in all black. And there's a Stormtrooper. Look at him dressed in all white. Then, of course, we got playsets that we know came with action figures because it's so famous they did. The Creature Cantina, of course, came with the blue Snaggletooth. Now, a lot of people think this is the Cantina, the fun one with the tables and the little playset. The one that came with the blue Snaggletooth was just a cardboard drop back of the outside of the Cantina. It came with the new Star Wars figures at the time, and for a few months, this was how you got them first. First, they was put in this playset, only sold through Sears until they hit retailers. Now, of course, we know about the whole blue Snaggletooth thing, and some of them did get replaced with the red Snaggletooth once they produced it. Let's take a look at it. Again, probably one of the most famous playsets to come with action figures is the Creature Adventure set. As you can see, it comes with a Greedo, Walrusman, Hammerhead, and Snaggletooth. Blue or red. Even if they did change the figure inside to red, they never updated the box. As you can see here how the figures came packed. And contrary to a myth, this wasn't the only way to get a blue Snaggletooth. You could order a set of figures, one of them being the blue Snaggletooth, from the Sears Wish Book. Now I'm mostly sticking to the US for this, but there were some that came in foreign markets. We're going to look at one from Canada here just because it's different. Now I'm not, like I said, I'm going to get back to mostly US, but I thought you guys would like to see this. Up in Canada country, you could get the Land of the Jawa playset with a free Jawa inside. But you know what's really odd that you could get up in Canada? I couldn't find a good picture of it, but check it out. This is the Cantina playset with a free Yoda inside. Yes, the Creature Cantina playset with Yoda inside. Yoda in a Star Wars box. Now that's just wacky crazy. What about action figures that came only in the box? You couldn't get them anywhere else. This is where we're going to get technical, with some people's going to say, that's not an action figure. That is an action figure. Well, of course we all know about the droid. Of course we all know about the droid factory. Comes with the three-legged R2-D2. And here it is here. Again, some people may argue, is this an actual action figure? Or being that you have to build it yourself, is it just an accessory? I'll let you decide. And there wasn't just humans and droids. The Death Star playset came with the little green monster. The Dianoa came inside this Death Star playset. But I'll let you decide if this is an accessory or a Star Wars creature. Well, that's a look at Star Wars. Let's jump over to The Empire Strikes Back. One of the coolest ships ever was a snowspeeder. And originally it didn't come with a free figure, but like with the Star Wars toys, they slapped a yellow sticker on it for an offer and packed a figure inside. Here's the Rebel Armed Snowspeeder. Although the picture shows Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing outfit flying the ship, inside you could get a Rebel soldier, which is probably a better deal than getting a Luke Skywalker, because this was great for building your Hoth army. Another thing they did around holiday season is they took a crappy playset, threw figures in it to get parents to buy it. Probably one of the worst excuses of calling something a playset is the Cloud City playset. Why? Because it's just a cardboard backdrop. It's really no playset. And the bad thing is they could have done a really cool playset, but we never did get it. But we did get the backdrop called a playset with figures. This so-called playset comes with a Han Solo in Bespin gear, Lobot, Dengar, and Ugnut. Again, these were new figures at the time, so it made a great way to get these figures. They came inside a white box marked Cloud City Playset Figures. Let's get back to slapping the yellow sticker on the box. It just looked like they just slapped this thing on fast too. They're all over. When you find a box, one's in the corner, one's slanted, one's askew. It doesn't matter. Now for kids that wanted the AT-AT toy but their parents wouldn't buy it for them, you had to go with the cheaper version, the cardboard AT-AT playset. Check it out. Here's the Hoth Ice Planet Adventure Set. And of course it comes with a free figure they threw inside. And that free figure was a Hoth Stormtrooper. Again, it's always good when you can get a soldier free as you're trying to build an army. Not only did the play sets and the vehicles come with stuff, they threw an action figure into the mini rig. That's a good plan because what kid would buy a mini rig on their own unless they just had a couple of dollars to waste? Here's the MLC3. It comes with a Rebel Commander inside. And then you had the PT8 with a 21B inside. Man, that's a lot of letters and numbers. I'm calling my cable company right now to tell them I want my MTV7. And here it is with a free AT-AT driver. Kenner released this same playset 3 times and painted it different with a different backdrop. It's the Land of the Jawas playset. It was the same thing as the AT-AT playset. And here it is as a Rebel Command Center. It's all the same base, just painted white. In fact, for the 2 Empire releases, it's the same white color. But check it out. The Rebel Command Center Adventure Set. I love how they call these boring playsets Adventure Set. But here it is. As you can see, the base is the same as the Land of the Jawa. It even has the little dent for the escape pod. But it came with 3 figures. A Luke Hoth figure, an AT-AT Commander, and R2 with a sensor scope. But I know you're saying, Junkman, get to it. We want to hear about the Cloud City Cloud Car. That's the best toy ever. And why did you get kids to buy this? You had to throw an action figure in it. Okay, first it didn't come with an action figure, but they slapped the yellow sticker on it to move some more units. Once this was a boring figure, so it made sense. Take something like the Cloud Car that needed 2 pilots, throw one in for free, right? Well, not exactly. Why? Because you didn't get the pilot, you got a Bespin guard. To be fair, Kenner did release the twin-part Cloud Car about a year before the Cloud City pilot was released. So I guess that's why it comes with a Bespin guard. Came with the white one. Okay, here's another one that you can debate if it's a droid part of the action figure line or is it an accessory. And this one here I always refer to it as the Hoth Outhouse because that's what it looks like. It's a base from Hoth and it came with a free probe droid. The Turret and Probot playset. I know, it's called a Probot, but I always call it the probe droid. What is right? Is it probe droid or probot? But as you can see, it comes with a droid of the Probot figure. Now, I did a video one time counting how many official action figures are in the Kenner run. This one I didn't count, and later it bugged me because it is a droid. It should be listed as a droid. So I count this one as a figure. But now that we looked at The Empire Strikes Back, let's jump over to Return of the Jedi. It's not going to take long. Sometime, for some reason around Return of the Jedi, Kenner got greedy. They wasn't throwing action figures into these toys at all, which I don't know if it makes much sense. I mean, with the Empire and Star Wars, the line was hot. It was selling out everywhere. Then Jedi came out. It did really good, but when the movie died out, the figure sales dropped. You think that's when they would start throwing in more figures with the playsets and the ships to get people to buy them. But apparently they didn't. But let's take a look at one playset that came with a figure so big, it's almost like a figure itself with a small playset. Jabba the Hutt. Now the playset here is the throne that Jabba sits on. So you get a Jabba the Hutt action figure on top of the playset. And I guess you can also count Salacious Crumb as an action figure, although I don't classify him as an action figure, being he's all one solid mold. But that's just me being technical maybe. Now we've looked at how Kenner like to reuse the same thing to make a few extra dollars. We have the droid factory, and that mold sitting around the Kenner warehouse was just sitting there. So they painted it, took all the fun pieces out, and re-released it with 3 action figures. The Jabba the Hutt Dungeon. This might be one of the most boring playsets of the line. And this one came with a Claw 2, Nick 2, and a D8. But in 1984, the package was repacked with 3 new Power of the Force figures. EV-99, Amanda Man, and Barakta. Now, those are Power of the Force figures from 1985, but technically, I guess, released in 1984. But being they're on card and with the Power of the Force collection, they're Power of the Force figures. And no, there's no last 17. It's the last 14, because the 2 Ewoks that everyone counts as part of the Power of the Force line was released in the Return of the Jedi line on the Return of the Jedi card. Don't count them as Power of the Force figures, at least when you're talking US Kenner release. There was another way to get some free action figures. Another free way was the Darth Vader carrying case. There was 2 different ones that came with figures, but I only pulled a picture of this one because I'm lazy. It came with the IG-88, a Bosk, and a Boba Fett. What a great line of figures to come with. I don't know why they picked these 3 great new popular characters from the film to give away free. To put inside the Darth Vader carrying case was a hot seller already. I don't know what they were thinking up there in Kennerland. Now let's look at one that we didn't get. You know, for the original Star Wars release, they did the stand with the backdrop. And we almost got that for The Empire Strikes Back with figures. Here's the special action display stand. As you can see, the backdrop here is the same one used for Star Wars, although it probably would have been changed if this got produced for The Empire Strikes Back line. And it would have came with 6 figures: Luke Bespin, Leia Bespin, Lando Calrissian, Bosk, Snowtrooper, and everyone's favorite, FX7. And here's how it looked in the box. That's a look at Star Wars action figures, mostly in the US, that came with a figure. Playsets, vehicles, whatever, that came with a figure inside. And again, I need your help. If you remember some toys from the 70s or 80s that came with an action figure, I know there's a lot of them, let me know in the comments below. And better yet, if it was exclusive to only that playset or whatever, that's even better, because I'll do a video about that. It's always fun when you get a free action figure with a toy. Every toy should come with a free action figure, am I right? Any playset, especially if it's a vehicle. Especially if it's a vehicle. If it's a ship, you need a pilot, it should come with a figure. That should be the rule. Anyway, let me know. Did you know there were some Star Wars ships that did come with figures? Let me know if you knew that. I'm sure you did. And as always, please subscribe to the channel. Thumb up so I know you like my content. And we'll talk again very soon.
Junkman.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.